Welcome to the Spirit in Mind broadcast with your hosts, Bishop C. Guy Robinson and Dr. Jonathan Shepard, where we explore faith and mental health perspectives on current affairs. Let's get into today's discussion with the Spirit in Mind.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Spirit in Mind, where we discuss current affairs with faith and mental health perspectives. I'm Bishop Guy Robinson, and it is a blessing to be with you once again, right here live in the Praise 106 studios, right here in Baltimore. Let somebody know it's time for Spirit in Mind, and Spirit in Mind wouldn't be Spirit in Mind without our colleague and co-host, Dr. Jonathan Shepard. Hello, Dr. Shepard.
And hello, Bishop, and hello to our radio listening audience and to our streaming audience. It's so good to be with you on another Saturday afternoon.
It is absolutely such a blessing, and we welcome you again. Let someone know that it is time for Spirit in Mind. There's several ways you can check in and be a part of what we're doing. You can call in fact, when we get into our content at 443-380-2803. 443-380-2803. Then Dr. Shepard is going to share some other ways that you can stay connected with us.
Absolutely. And we want you to continue to stay connected with us. And we want you to be connected to us on our social media platforms. And I'm so blessed to be able to share with you the various different platforms. I do want to emphasize today the Spirit in Mind Facebook page. We want you to go there and follow us. Apparently, Facebook has this new thing where you have to have a certain number of followers. And our Spirit in Mind Facebook page is one of the things that we have not pushed a lot. And so you have to have a number of followers in order to be able to go live on that page, Bishop. And so I found that out. And so because it's a professional page, I want every listener out there, go to Spirit of Mind, just follow us, just hit follow. And that way we'll have the certain requirement of number of people that we need to have for that to go live, because we don't want you to miss any of these shows through any of the platforms. Of course, you can go live to Bishop C. Guy Robinson's page, and you can even go to his YouTube pages, Instagram, CGR Ministries. And so we want you to go there, and you'll see some of that important information. You'll see some of the old shows. You'll see some of Bishop's sermons, and even a new book. And I'm going to hold off on that, but we have some exciting things to really talk about with Bishop. But we want you to go to those various different platforms for Bishop C. Guy Robinson. He is a pastor. He is a well-known author and professor at some of the noted HBCUs. And so we want to make sure people literally all over the country look to Bishop C. Guy Robinson for advice. And I do know that personally. And so I'm so thankful that we have such a astute man of God who is with us on this show. And so please go there, support. Please go there and support. Please go to Spirit in Mind to our Facebook page. Go there and follow us. And then you can go and follow my social media pages also, or you go to my website. I'll start with my website first, drjonathanshepard.com, drjonathanshepard.com. And my admin team is there waiting to assist you if you're in need of direct care services, if you're in need of persons to help you. And I say persons because it is more than just me who assist in making sure that you get the help that you need. If you're in need of a workshop presenter, in need of a person to help break down the mental health challenges that are occurring within our men, within our women, especially our black women, please reach out to myself, Bishop Robinson, and we can definitely help you in those areas. It's amazing, Bishop, just the number of requests that are coming through and just the receptivity, along with the requests and receptivity of the people who are reaching out. And I'm so grateful and so thankful that people are no longer ashamed to deal with mental health. And so those are some of the wonderful ways you can reach out to us. And then I say the best for last, the best for last. And I'm sure we'll talk about it for more shows to come. And I'm not sure how much we'll talk about it on this, but Bishop has a new book. Bishop has a new book. And if I had some hand claps, I would get some hand claps right up in here. Bishop has a new book. I have some party favorites, some horns in there, right? I mean, he has a new book. And so we want to promote this book. What a wonderful way what a wonderful platform to just exercise the gifts that God has given this man of God. And so, Bishop, please tell us about this new book.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Shepard, and thank you to everyone that is joining us on all of our different streaming platforms. And again, one more time, let me say you can call in right now, live. We're live at Praise 106 here. It's time for Spirit in Mind. The number is 443-380-2803. Dr. Shepard, I'm so glad to talk to our Spirit in Mind listeners, audience, and family about the new book. It's called The Soul Care Birthright. I actually have it right here.
Yes.
The Soul Care Birthright. The Soul Care Birthright. The subtitle is A Theology of Mental Health for Ministerial Practice.
Mm.
So what that really deals with is, first of all, the title. The title was inspired by, and I know you are familiar with Dr. Orville Hobart Maurer, the late psychologist. And he once described the relationship between Christian theology and mental health as analogous to the relationship between Esau and Jacob in the Bible, as if they were wrestling for a birthright. I explore that analogy a little further and look at some of the history of the relationship between the two disciplines. It's a little more complex, like most relationships, than simply just a stigma. There's some other relational issues, but they're all for the purpose of collaborating and integrating. So while we're talking about all this stuff about faith and mental health, it's like, how does this fit into my ministry as a pastor, as a preacher of the gospel, as an associate minister, as a ministry leader, as a seminary student, as a Sunday school teacher, as a minister of music, as the leader of the ushers? How does all of these people could be first responders, actually,
Yes, sir.
to mental health concerns? And so how does this idea of mental health fit into our theology? And so that's basically, we explore a lot of that, the history of it, paths to reconciliation, the new call, I believe, for this postmodern era to live comfortably at the intersection of faith and mental health without compromising our Christian orthodoxy and institutional identity as a church. It's okay to be in a relationship and maintain your identity. That's a whole nother subject. You don't have to lose yourself and lose who you are and be consumed by the more dominant personality. And you can be in a relationship and maintain. There's some things I like, some things my spouse likes. So, your spouse might not be a ball fan. So when you watching the game, that's your moment. Because you can be in a relationship and still maintain a healthy sense of identity. That's the beauty of it, that the two become one. And so I'm suggesting that the same exists for the relationship between Christian theology and the practice of modern psychology for the cause of ministry.
Wow, wonderful. And Bishop, where can we get this book, The Soul Care Birthright?
Yes. Listen, you can get it. You can go to Amazon if you prefer hard copies. You can do that. If you like to mark it up in your own pen, you like to, put dog ears on, save the pages, mark it up, show your sign that you've really been reading it. It's made for all of that. It's great. You could go to Amazon or any of the booksellers and get it there. If you are a digital person, that you run through airports, plane stations, train stations, and you can't carry all of these hard copies with you, but you still like to read while you're waiting on your flight, or those kind of things, you could download the digital version. You could go to that, go to Kindle, all of that. You can download that and you can read it in flight, waiting on your flight, all of those kind of things. I look forward to the dialogue. I want you to follow me, and I try to act like a little bit like a family therapist, balance each side. And one day I'll take, a therapist that takes the children's side, their view, and then another day the adult side. And so when you read it, just keep reading because it ends up as a path and the proposal for collaborative care.
Wow. This is so exciting. And so thank you. You can hear the passion in Bishop's voice as he talks about it. And so I plan to go ahead and download my digital copy as I read, as I typically travel between Baltimore to DC, and that's some good travel time, allowing me to learn. I want you to go and pick up the book, and then I probably will get the hard copy book too, so I can also write in it, use those dog ears. uh, but we want you to go and support. This is what the show is all about. Really, it is. It's so exciting. And so thank you for all the wonderful comments that are coming through and supporting Bishop. Come on, let's send some more comments and thank Bishop for the work that he has done. It's taken him a little bit of time with this, as you know, with writing books. Bishop, is this your second book now?
Third. The one was many years ago about worship in almost like another life, but this is my second book at this intersection of faith and theology and psychology. Absolutely, it's a follow-up to Critical Collaboration.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and so we want you to go and support the books that Bishop has written. Critical Collaboration is where I really met Bishop through that writing and through the ability to read, and was so impressed with his writing at that time, and we have continued to develop our relationship and to where we even now work together on the radio show Spirit in Mind. And so thank you for supporting Bishop C. Guy Robinson. I'm hanging here just a little bit more because I want to make sure that we do just that. We want to support our own, and we want to make sure that we are picking up the copy of this book. So Bishop, we want to transition now into what we're talking about today.
Yes.
So we've been talking about living in a new place, and we actually are approaching the 20th week, believe it or not. And we've been going strong, and we've been talking about transitions, and so we've been talking about ways to be able to strengthen your mind, ways to be able to strengthen your mind. I'll say it one more time: ways to be able to strengthen your mind, because as you go through these transitions, as you find yourself living in a new place, as you find yourself residing in a place that you may not have expected, may have been unfamiliar or is unfamiliar to you, we want to make sure that you take the time to strengthen your mind. And one of the things that Bishop really has been that's been impressed upon me over the last week is making sure, along with the strengthening of the mind, you take time to rest.
Absolutely.
Man, let me tell you, if anybody follows the Bible app, and I do follow the Bible app just for some daily meditations to get my daily reading going, and then it helps me to spur into various other avenues. They've been really focusing on rest.
Mm-hmm.
They're focusing on rest, and it really is so interesting how so many people don't like to rest. They like to sit back and talk, but we really don't like to rest. And really, even today, they were talking about how to get into God's rhythm. I don't want to defer too much, but they talk about how to get into God's rhythm, and God's rhythm of 6 days of work and 1 day of rest.
Yes.
And that really is so important when you talk about how to be able to strengthen your mind. Your mind cannot be strengthened unless you take time to pause and to rest.
Absolutely.
Literally, when your brain goes to sleep, there are toxins that are being flushed out of your system. Literally, it shows in research that the toxins that build up that could potentially cause Alzheimer's disease or other type of diseases that we fear regarding memory loss, that those toxins are flushed out if we go to sleep or when we go to sleep. I said if we go to sleep because sometimes
that's critical. Because if you remember highlighting that, because it's some things that are helpful for us and restorative for us and regenerative for us and even creatively inspiring for us, some of those things won't happen until we rest. Like, think about how smart the body is. Like, we have so many defense mechanisms and so many other avoided tactics. And sometimes that whole idea of Freud's interpretation of dreams is like all of those defenses have to go down. So I'll wait till you sleep. And if you go to sleep and hit a certain level of REM sleep, then restorative and regenerative processes can happen. No rest, no restoration.
Wow.
Like that's so spiritually and psychologically powerful.
Wow. You got that. No rest, no restoration. And I really want people to hear us clearly on that. That sometimes it's not even the physical act of going to sleep, but the pausing of the activities that you do
Mhm.
on a daily basis. And Bishop and I, we've been in discussion about how to be able just to stop and to cease, especially when you know that it's time to make a shift, make a transition, or you feel that you're find yourself, not even feel, you find yourself in a place of transition at a crossroads. And many times you had to stop and to reassess and to rest before making that next move. And so we want to encourage people. We're approaching the halfway mark of the year, Bishop.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so this is a great time to say, hey, let me stop and rest. Many times people go on vacations in July and August. And unfortunately, vacations can be kind of a stressful time.
Yeah. Yeah, you said something powerful, Doc Shepard, when you were talking about the rhythm of God in the seventh day, because it's important that we also, I just think it is important to reiterate the rhythm of God and the intentionality of that rhythm, that there's a difference because rest includes, because I just want to say from a pastoral perspective, it includes intentionality, it includes planning, it includes accountability.
Yep.
So we're talking about taking vacation because even self-care, when you're in covenant, even self-care is a collaborative act.
Yes.
I gave the example, I think maybe here before the tabernacle, I get them mixed up, where, when I was growing up in the house, my mom, I was a musician. So I'm banging on the piano there in the living room. And my other brother was a DJ. So he's downstairs with two turntables, old school,
Uh-huh.
trying to be, Run DMC and all of that. And so my other brother had a boom box in his room, like he bought this huge system. So it was very possible on any given Saturday or any day for the boom box to be blaring up in my brother's room. Down in the basement, my other brother's DJ Robinson on the turntable, and I'm in the living room with the record player, trying to learn the newest song from the Hawkins family, the Winans of Commission. And sometimes my mother would just say, "I need 3 hours of quiet for my own peace of mind." That means she needs self-care. That means for the next 3 hours, don't ask me to do anything. And please don't do that. That means we had to cooperate when you're in covenant. So when you take your rest, I want to say there's a difference between planning your rest in the rhythm of God and burning out and then emotionally disengaging sporadically and checking out. They're two different things. One is intentional. The other one is an emotional reaction to not being intentional. And perhaps you're well on the road to burnout. So there's a difference between the two. But these principles are spiritual. And while we were talking, so the psalmist says in Psalm 23, when you said some stuff doesn't happen till you sleep, he maketh me to lie down. He restores my soul. They go together. The restoration doesn't happen until we get in a posture of rest.
Absolutely. And you think about the soul is where houses our will, our mind, and emotions. And so you look at the restoration, and I look at that, Bishop. So many people, they come to me, and probably come to you too, Bishop, asking, why am I so angry? And help me with this. I can't get over this. I'm really struggling in this area, and they really are well intended when they're asking those questions. And I sometimes have to ask them, when was the last time you just stopped and just sat, and make sure that you just stop what you're doing and really just sit back and reflect on how did you get to this point? How is it that you find yourself in this predicament? How is it that you find yourself in this situation? And I'll be honest with you, Bishop, sometimes people get upset. They will. I've had to do that. Yes, I've had to do that. Full transparency. I'm working, I'm busy, and sometimes you get to the point to where, wow, let me stop. Let me think. And thank you for saying that, Bishop, because that Psalm 23 is so powerful. When you are lying down in green pastures and restoring your soul, I really do believe that many times we cannot even achieve our next level of of commitment, our next level of blessing, if you would, our next level of 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 progression until we sit down and rest. I really see that, even with where I am right now. If I had not taken time to sit down and take care of Jonathan, then there's some things I would not be able to achieve even right now. And I'm looking at some things I'm looking further to achieve. And I realize that I need to sit down, rest, and strengthen my mind. Again, I can even hear you, Bishop, talking at one point about Isaiah 54, about verse 2, about the stretching. And one of the things I recognize is that when you're ready to stretch, when you're ready to elevate, you can't do that unless your mind, unless you're strengthened. Because if you stretch before you're strengthened, you will break.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And that's why it's so very important that we're mindful of all of these things, and it's critical for us again to do this intentionally and not just like, I done stood all I could stand and I can't stand no more, and then and then you just like disappear for 6 weeks. Yeah,
Right.
I'm doing self care. When you plan it, when you say, okay, just like this is going to be, and you bring up something real quick about the importance of mindfulness,
Yes.
which means living and appreciating the blessings of the present moment.
Yes.
That has to be strategic. Sometimes it even has to be therapeutically guided, or guided through counsel, because we spend so much time multitasking and the demands of our world, and either ruminating about the past, which we cannot change,
Wow.
and leads to at least episodic feelings and symptoms of depression, because the powerlessness of my ability to change things that have already done. I can't change the past. I spend so much time ruminating about that, stuck in that place, or worrying about the future,
Wow.
which makes me susceptible to anxiety. So between the anxiety about the future and depression about the past, between those extremes, if you will, is the immediate of the present. That these present blessings, this present fact that I'm breathing, that I have life, health, and strength, helps me to restore, to face the tomorrow that I gotta face. You know what I mean? That's why it's so important with is taking some time to say, I'm going to live in this moment. And when you're on vacation, it's so very important to say, I'm going to live in this moment. I'm not going to be on vacation and living in 2 weeks from now.
Right. Ooh, say that. Yes,
Like,
sir.
I can't be living in
Say that.
this present moment. I'm not going to do a vacation and living in 2-3 weeks from now,
Wow.
because that's putting my anxiety away.
Wow.
Anxiety is by definition a future oriented concern, and so the possibilities of what may happen. So, and I can be so busy in that, or so busy ruminating over what I can't change about yesterday's, that I miss the moments of the present.
Wow. Thank you. And for a planner like me, I need to hear that because I am thinking already into the fall, Bishop, and and I miss that sometimes, of just living in the present. And let me tell you, when you do that and continue to plan, and you don't take time to live in the present, it really affects you physically. It will raise your blood pressure as you're becoming more anxious. It will cause you to have more aches and more pains. In particular, I get concerned about our people with blood pressures, because we naturally, as Black people, have a higher blood pressure because of the different things that we have encountered over centuries of years. But when we worry about things, we worry about what's going to happen, and trust me, I get it. Again, I'm a planner, but we have to learn how to be
able to rest
And in that rest, learning how to strengthen our mind and be able to not allow those worries to overtake us.
I know we're in our last couple minutes, but and maybe we can get more into this later. But I was just reading this week some amazing peer-reviewed research journals that are even dealing with the concept of our postmodern world and everything that everybody has a photography capabilities in their phone.
Mm-hmm.
And so what some of the research is showing is that there are persons who are increasing number of persons who are capturing the photographs but missing the moment. I'm gonna say that again. Capturing the photographs but missing the present moment. Meaning they capture a frozen moment in time, but while they were trying to capture that moment in time and get it right, just in the right angle, there's been other persons who have a more vivid memory of the moment than the photographer, because they remember things like the smells that were around, the scent of the grass when I was out, the crash of the ocean at the beach. So it's possible to leave vacation or leave a momentous event with a bunch of photographs, but little memory. Because we can be so busy saying, I got to capture this for the future, that we miss details of the immediate moment. So that's enough. We could probably get more into that. But you could have photographs, but miss the moment. And so that's so very important, because again, past, future, present. And how do we navigate three of these in a way that maximizes the moment is critical.
Thank you. And I wrote that down. I hope you got that too. And believe me, I believe that if you learn how to be able to capture not just the picture or the photography and not miss the moment, it will lead to peace. And so that's what I've been studying this week, Bishop, when we studying this coming week about how to live in a peaceful setting in this chaotic world. And so I believe that's one of the points I'm going to take with me, Bishop. So, I know we're running out of time here. It's been excellent. Continue to follow us. Again, I want to emphasize our Spirit in Mind Facebook page. Follow us so we can continue to send you the good information and content that we have.
Absolutely. And please get a copy of the Soul Care Birthright. Reach out to me on the ways that are listed on the social media things. I'd love to engage conversation with you about the theology of mental health for ministerial practice. Thank you. By the grace of God, we look forward to being here next time, right here, Praise 106. Join us next time for Spirit in Mind.
Don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook at Spirit in Mind, and we're also on Instagram at Spirit in Mind Live. Join us next time for a new episode of Spirit in Mind.
This program is brought to you by Spirit in Mind, LLC.